Hey everyone, today we're going to be taking a look at section 2.1, fractions. So make sure that you are writing this title down at the top of your page. Okay, so let's just review what we were working with when we're taking a look at fractions. When we have a fraction, we have both a numerator and a denominator. Pause the video and write this in your notes right now. Alright, now imagine that we have two different pies like this. If I want to find out how many same size slices I have 1/4 of a pie like right here, and I have 1/5 of a pie right here. Remember, we can't add them up just like this. We need to, 1, find the lowest common denominator between these two numbers. So if I'm trying to find the lowest common denominator here, we can do that by finding the LCM between 4 and 5. So we know how to do that. 4 and 5. If I want to find the lowest common denominator, or the lowest common multiples, I can, you guessed it, list. So I listed off my multiples for 4, and I listed off my multiples for 5. We'll learn an easier way how to do this, but for right now, if we're not sure about doing this, we can just list them. Our lowest common denominator is going to be 20, so I'm trying to figure out what times 1/4 will give me 20, and what times 1/5 will give me 20. I can count that. My multiples for 4, for me to get 20, would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, and 5. So I know I need to multiply both the numerator and the denominator by 5. 1 times 5 will give me 5. 4 times 5 will give me 20. Now with 5s, the multiple that would give me 20 was 1, 2, 3, 4. So 5 times 4 will give me 20. Remember, I'm doing this so I get the same denominator. Now from there, I can find out how many slices. So I'm just going to add up our numerators. 5 plus 9, 5 plus 4 is equal to 9. And we don't add up the numerators together. It stays the same. So, just to review, that is how we're going to be adding fractions. Now, you've already watched the video about how you can multiply fractions, but we're just going to be taking our clear notes now. So for section 2.1, fractions, we're going to be looking at this key idea. So, the key idea when we're multiplying fractions is that we are going to be multiplying the numerators and multiplying the denominators. So that's what it looks like in words. Please write that down. If I'm taking a look at an example of this using my numbers, I have two different fractions here. I have 3/7 times 1/2. Again, I'm multiplying across, multiplying my numerators, multiplying my denominators. So 3 times 1 will give me 3. 7 times 2 will equal 14. So I multiply 3/7 times 1/2. I will end up with 3/14. Please write down this example right now. Okay, let's take a look at this example. Example 1. You have 3/4 of a bag of candy, and you give 1/2 of that bag to trick-or-treaters. How much of the entire bag did you give away? Now I can set this up just like how we were doing that. We can set it up so that for you to find out the total amount that you've used out of our bag, we have 3/4 of this bag right here, and we used half of that 3/4, we want to find out how much of the bag you gave away right here. Now I can set up an equation, I can set up a problem with my fractions like this, where we have 3/4 times 1/2, because I have 3/4 of the bag that I used, and I want to find out what 1/2 of that would be. So once I set this problem up, I can also write it out as 3/1 times 4/2. And if I multiply across 3 times 1 and 4 times 2, I will end up with 3/8. So out of the bag, I have used 3/8 of the bag. That is how we're going to be setting up fractions, and that's how we're going to be multiplying them. Thank you for listening. Show your work in your notebook, and I'll see you tomorrow.